songs. If I hear about them again, I'll throw up. It's murder, she wrote. You barely heard a word as she choked. It wasn't nothing, N-U-T-T-I-N. It wasn't nothing, these mindless mental dwarves.
Oh, hello and welcome back once again. It is the Josh Potter Show, and I want to, out of the gate, thank TK for sending in this little remix. He actually wrote me an email, too. He said, "Hey, Josh, been watching you since the Your Mom's House days and seen every episode of the Josh Potter Show. I've been making music since the pandemic and teaching myself how to sample and chop beats since then. I don't really have anything published, but I just made this on my phone in GarageBand tonight and saved it to my voice memos for you. Let me know if you need it sent in a different way." Well, he's getting into the files now. But I did want to shout out TK. Thank you for sending that in to joshpottershow@gmail.com. That's where you can send anything in, whether it be music like TK did, or it could be an article, whatever it may be. You can just tell me about your friggin' day at joshpottershow@gmail.com. So thank you to him. Make sure you go over to my Instagram at Josh_Potter. You can find out about tour dates coming up down the road. I've got a meeting tomorrow. Hopefully get some East Coast ones up there for you. But we've got Bakersfield coming up April 22nd. We've got The Well in Belmont or not The Well. The Well is Bakersfield. We've got I forget the name of the comedy club in Bellflower, California. That's coming up in March 10th. So just go over to the friggin' Instagram and click the link in the bio, or you can go on Twitter at J_Potter. Other than that, thank you for subscribing, liking, rating, reviewing, however you go about that kind of thing. Pleased to be continuing to do that. And we have a very, very wonderful guest today, a special guest. It's Mary Lynn Rajskub, everybody. How are you? She's an actress. She's an author. She's a mother.
Go on.
She's a comedian.
Go on.
Podcaster.
Model.
That Woo
Model.
You Do.
Model.
Yes, of course, yes.
Go on.
Raconteur. I don't know. What is there? What else? What other things are there? Musician. Did I say? That's when I left off.
Hot piece of ass.
Hot piece of ass. Model. Not porn star. Classy piece of ass.
Not very good student.
Not well. I mean, I'd hope you don't have to do that anymore. Do you have to do student stuff?
I'm grasping at this point.
Really?
I wanted you to go on with say all the things that I am, and then I ran out.
How can you be a bad student?
I wrote a book because I made myself do work later in life.
I want because I remember.
You know what that book involved? A lot of like napping, a lot of snacking.
Maybe I can write a book then.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Get involved.
I had a teacher tell me about procrastination, like in school. Like this is like in 8th grade or something. He's like, if you don't fix it now, you're never gonna fix it. And he was
You're like,
fucking right. Yeah.
Is that what you did? To be such a great teacher? Was he a good teacher?
He was a fine teacher, but he was. It's
That's
like
that guy.
At the same time,
procrastination is the spice of life.
Oh, I hate it, but I'm never gonna stop doing it.
Oh.
He was dead on about that.
Procrastinate everything and yearn to do nothing.
Oh, I yearn to do nothing. My life is a dream right now. I'm going to look back on this someday and be like, remember when you were wondering if you were working hard enough all the time and you were doing it just right, Josh? That's what I'm going to tell myself someday.
Right. Is that why you like the road? Because you sit around all day and just stare?
It's part of my job to nap all day.
Oh, you've got to gear up for the show.
Yeah. Oh, of
you got to have the kind of naps where you nap so much that your body is telling you in your dream, like, wake yourself up. And then you're in that in-between state where you're like, am I awake? Am I not awake?
Oh,
and
yes.
you know you've slept too much.
There's nothing I love more than checking into a hotel, maybe the night before, but usually it's the morning
to get some extra.
And then you just go into a coma. And then my dream is to just take a shower and then walk out of the shower, get dressed, and walk on stage. I want it to be that close in proximity.
That's
you know
how they
mean?
Get you.
But yeah, no, then it's like,
usually
you got to be at the club at this time,
and
the club is 10 minutes away, and you're like, oh, God.
10 minutes? It's like nothing. Oh, those extra 10 minutes every minute.
A 10-minute walk, though, sometimes. No,
so you want to sleep and you want to be on stage.
Right. Headlining, it's a lot easier, obviously, because you don't have to get there, like, right when the show starts. But, like, back when you're hosting or when you're middle or whatever, you're like, oh, God, I got to get there. You know, how long the host is going to do? 5 minutes, 10 minutes? So you got to get there, like, right at the beginning.
Wow. See, and you don't even have the lady time of where I'm just, like, pushing it to the edge. You know?
I mean, I push it.
You get your curling iron out. You're like, oh, just
Right, I have less preparation.
what am I gonna wear?
But
you
I do
change
push
your
it.
shirt. Yeah, you push it. Okay, the host is on stage now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then I'll waltz in,
Yeah.
get a look at the crowd. The road. But do you remember where we met the first time ever? I'm putting you on the spot.
Nope.
It was in Buffalo.
Oh.
I was doing an open mic like I did every week.
Was I at the
club.
open mic?
You came to the open mic.
What
I think you were
club was
shooting
that?
something. Helium.
Oh.
You were shooting something in town. I don't know what it ended up being. It was years ago. But
Who knows?
you were making a movie there. Or
That's
something.
right.
And then you
That's
just
what I
came to do
do.
the open mic at the club, which was, for all of us, insane. We're like, what?
You know who it wasn't insane for? The club.
Why? They didn't do
They're
anything?
like, we'll see. We'll let you go on. That's the rub. That's the catch-22 of my life.
Really?
Yeah, I'm an amazing superstar.
I thought they'd like roll it out the red carpet for
No,
you. You want to
they're
headline
like-
the open mic?
They're like, we can't book you because you won't sell a weekend, but we'll maybe put you on a Wednesday. I'm not even supposed to say that out loud because I'm poking a hole
Right,
in my
right.
superstar status.
Well, I mean, it's
I
not.
gotta-
I don't think that's necessarily true. The clubs like to say those things because then they.
Well,
can
let's just say
fuck
I'm
you
not,
over.
and hopefully talking about it like this is going to get me in with them. But I'm just not.
Well, I'll just
That's
say
like one of
that's-
my clubs I'd like to be in.
Well,
more.
it's fun.
I'd
I
like
mean,
to get
that's
a,
the
I'd like to
club
get a
I-
weekend.
I grew up in that club,
Let's talk clubs.
and
You're looking for new clubs.
I am. I
Oh, you grew up
with
in that club. Why don't you put in a good word for me?
I'd love to, but they, just because I grew up there doesn't mean they tend to put in
you're
a
on
good
the-
word for me either.
You're on the outs with them too.
Not around on the outs, but I mean, how about a nicer
Did
deal
you piss
here?
in the corner?
I sometimes piss in the corner. But yeah, no, it was crazy that you were at that open mic.
That was really fun.
And it was fun to
Worth
to
the
meet you
hype.
there.
Great stage, great room.
And you've been so nice to me since I moved to LA. We got to
I
you're
gotta
like,
stop
"Shut
being
up."
nice.
Stop being
No, you're nice. You're always
I'm nice. Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, I mean, what am I going to be, an asshole when I first get here? and be like,
Exactly.
What's up? I'm from Buffalo. No big. Yeah, I don't know if you heard.
Freaking Buffalo.
I'm middling
Sometimes
at
we
the
freeze
helium
over.
clubs.
If you've been to a little place I like to call Niagara Falls, didn't think so.
You were there in the summertime, though. You didn't get to see the winter, did you?
No, is it exciting?
Oh, if by exciting you mean hellacious. I was just there for a blizzard back over Christmas. I
Yeah.
got stuck for a week. And then just yesterday, they had an earthquake there.
Oh,
They never have earthquakes.
yeah.
They had one when I was in third grade, and then they had one, and it was a 4.4, which for us, it's like, would that even wake me up, out here in LA? But for them, they're like, oh my Lord, the world is ending.
Yeah.
My mom texted me like at 6 a.m. The world is ending. There's an earthquake. What is that? Oh, you're Googling something? I don't know. When they pop stuff up on the screen. We're in a new room, folks, for the
We're in
record.
a new room. Welcome.
So I'm getting my
There's going to be
bearings.
some growing pains.
Yes,
okay?
I'm getting my bearings.
He's easily distracted.
This is the fourth
procrastinating
studio that
on
we've had.
We were having a great conversation about the weather in Buffalo. I don't know why his mind went elsewhere.
This is our fourth studio
It's
in
really
2 years.
exciting. He's, just squandering his time with me. I was trying to think of one weather thing, and I couldn't think. I was trying to think.
What do you need a weather thing
the
for?
latest? Because you said earthquake.
Oh, I
But
see.
I wanted to think of the latest.
Well, you've lived here
My
for
brain.
a minute.
No, I want the thing that happens. That's a cold snap,
a blizzard.
ice break
Of ice.
in the sky. Okay, never mind. What is the point
Snow?
of this podcast?
Were you here when there was like a bad earthquake before? I mean, I've
No,
only,
the big one, the
Yeah.
Northridge. I moved here shortly after that, so I
Oh,
moved
okay.
to LA in the '90s. A little time called the '90s. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember it. I was a little child.
Oh, you were so sweet. You were so sweet back
but yeah,
then.
you just missed it then.
Yes, I just missed
And there
it.
hasn't been a big one since then, yeah?
Not like that.
Are we due? Does that mean that we're due?
I guess we're due for all of it,
Mm.
We're all dying. We're all dying.
This is true. And, I mean, speaking of weather, the Chinese sent a little balloon over here for weather.
Oh, nice
Did you see that?
segue.
Yeah, I know.
That was sweet,
Isn't
Potter.
it, though? I used to do radio.
I heard we shot down that balloon.
We shot it down. We gave it the old Flight 93 treatment. We went by there, shot her down. But
I don't understand what's happening ever.
you would think-
because now there's like a thing where they're saying there were balloons up there when Trump, but he didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, I don't
and
know
then
the difference.
Biden almost didn't, but then he did, and then
Because he got called out. They're like, you won't take down that balloon. He's like, well, I'll fucking take down the balloon.
but is it just happening all the time? And why did we see it? And
Why are we using balloons? That's what I mean. Like, they're the Chinese. I would imagine they're already in here. You know what I mean? They're like looking at us through the cameras. They're
Yeah,
on the
what
TikTok.
is actually happening in the balloon?
And everyone can see the balloon. It's not like it's like a covert operation. They're like, oh Lord, they looked up today. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think
Like,
it's fair to say we don't get it.
yeah. It's
There's
something.
stuff going on
It's something out
in the
there.
balloon.
The balloon is out there, but I don't talk about politics on this program. I talk about dumb shit.
Get
as I
political,
mentioned here.
man.
You want to get political?
Now's your chance.
Now's my chance. Well, I'll get political. There is something going on in gay bars in New York City. Gonna get political.
You got Rob on that one. What's going on in gay bars?
3 men who visited a New York City gay bar were robbed of thousands of dollars using facial recognition access on their phones. Do you look at your phone? You can open it that way.
I do.
I don't do that.
I
I'll say it
got
right
locked
now.
out of my own face.
With
facial
your own
recognition.
face, though? Your face
Yeah.
changed?
I
Was
don't
it-
know. No, I did something like to turn it off,
I was wondering
or
if there
my
was,
face changed.
was
There's
it
a lot
like-
of Botox.
if you set it on a day where you're just like, I just woke up and you just set it, and then like
Yeah.
you go out to like a gala or something like that, and then try to open it, and they're like, who the hell's that?
a gala really took me somewhere. Thank you for that.
You know what I mean, though? They're like,
Yeah,
what
when
the-
you go to galas and you don't look like yourself.
Right,
You're
exactly.
like, I'm better than me. And
Or
then
like
you
an
go back to
awards
regular.
show or
Yeah, no,
something.
when you're going to awards shows.
Right. Does the facial recognition, does that become deterred? Does that have a difficult time?
It's like,
Who the hell's that?
fuck
Yeah.
you, man.
Right. If you have a
It
glow
turns
up,
on
you're
you.
fucked. Your phone's
Yeah.
like, who the fuck's this
Don't
person?
glow up too much.
Right.
Your phone says, don't go changing. Just be you.
Well, I was with some people at the Comedy Store the other night, and they were doing the old...
What if you age out of your facial recognition?
Exactly. Well, there's that, but also the voice one. You know, the voice recognition. If
Yeah.
somebody hears you make a command to your phone,
Yes.
they can simply just walk. We were on Frank
Right.
Castillo's phone. We were texting his mom the other night because we just knew text mom, and it came up and we could do it. Yeah, it's bullshit. I don't do it. You have to type it all in for me. I don't fuck
Yeah.
around with the fucking face stuff. No, sir. And you'll hear in here why exactly.
Go on.
3 men who were in their late 30s and 40s visited a Chelsea gay leather bar in Eagle, New York City, or the Eagle in New York City, excuse me, on separate nights in October and November, and were each robbed of $1,000 to $5,000, according to the NYPD. No arrests have been made in the investigation. Police believe the criminals were using facial recognition to access the victims' phones and funds once they were incapacitated. I don't know how they were incapacitated. What were they doing? Some drugs or something like that? What we think is happening with the scheme is that they're being lured away from the club, maybe to say, hey, you want to come? This is the cops giving an example of what gay men would do after they leave a club, which I think is hilarious. Hey, they said maybe to say, hey, you want to come with me? I got some good drugs or something like that. And then once they get into a car to
Oh,
do
boy.
whatever it is that they're going to do, you know what I'm saying? Like
Wait,
the cops
what?
are...
That's what it says?
That's
all
what it
that?
says, yeah. That says, in quotes.
To me, there's a lot of ways you could just get someone's phone.
Yeah.
Why are they? That's like a cop that wishes that. That's like his fantasy. You know, when someone comes up to you and you're dressed like a cop and they're like, hey, cop, come to my car. And you're like, no, I can't. I'm a cop. And they're like, I like cops. Aw,
yeah,
like
that's what
that.
it's basically like. This cop is
What a
gaming out his
jerk.
fantasies, like, and then once you get in the car, you know they're gonna do some gay stuff or whatever. it
That's
is.
not a real quote.
It is right
That's not a
here.
real quote.
At some point or another, they don't know what happened when they wake up. A 19-year-old female and a 42-year-old male who were visiting New York City, that particular bar, that is not affiliated with the LGBTQ community, Hotel Chantel, were also robbed in November and December by a same group of criminals.
Hotel Chantel, no affiliation. Okay.
That's a
Sounds
straight
like it'd
place
be a
to me.
cute affiliation.
It should be, but evidently they're saying that these people have done this ruse in non-gay bars.
Same
as
scenario
well.
where they lure them to their car and then they're like, right?
Want to do gay shit or what? No,
Do they do that with the straight people?
I evidently not.
I mean, there has to be some finagling to get the phone.
I would expect.
Wait, what is the scam? They tricked the phone.
Basically, they're luring people away, evidently, and they say like, you know, you want to do drugs or something.
I
That's
heard
what the
that
cops are
part.
And then
I'm saying,
somehow
what
they
is
get the phone.
Right.
They get access to it. They get inside of
And
it.
they
And then
change
they
it
like
to their-
Venmo themselves or whatever. They're robbing their money. So they're going into
Oh,
their
this
bank
has nothing
apps.
to do with facial recognition.
Well, the facial recognition is what gets them into the phone.
But they have to use that person's face. I'm saying, like, let's really break it down.
No, sure.
You got to get
You're right,
them to your
actually,
car to do gay stuff? Or
perhaps
could you
they're
just do that in the bar?
showing the phone like this.
So you at least have to have enough game to get that person's phone. Or you're stealing their phone.
Or they're having enough game where they get them into the away from the bar place, and then they're like giving them drugs or whatever, and then they like pass out and they take their phone and they put it up to their face and steal stuff from it then.
Oh, they are using their facial recognition to get in.
That's what they could be. I
feel like I misspoke.
Well, let's see what happens.
This is like a roofie thing from the get-go. Because I
Yes,
was
it
like,
could
if
very well
if
be.
you're really cool, you're just like, hey, we're friends. Like, let's take a selfie. Why don't you open your
That's
phone?
a great way to go about it too.
And just be like,
You're actually more nefarious than these actual criminals.
thank you. Thank you.
In January, the Eagle, that's the gay bar in New York City, posted on its Instagram account security footage of two men interacting with bar patrons outside of the venue, writing, "Do not take rides from these guys. We are told that they have someone in a car around nearby street corners waiting for people to bring them someone." So this is like a whole racket. They also added, on a since deleted Instagram post, that it reported it to known offenders and appropriate authorities. The police spokesperson said that the incidents at the Eagle and the Hotel Chantel are not related to any other pattern of robberies happening around the city, and that the recent robberies bear a resemblance to cases reported by NBC News back in November, blah, blah, blah.
So this is a date rape, but they want cash. They don't want sex.
Yes, they're date raping you for
Why didn't
it's
you
like
just say that?
Findom kind of stuff. We didn't even play the news song. Do you know we have a news theme and we didn't even play it?
Listen,
Got right
I
into the
apologize.
news.
I'm new to the podcast. I
No,
felt
it's
like
my
I
fault.
interjected throughout that whole news piece, and that was really
That's what you're
that was
supposed to
really
do.
unnecessary. I am.
Yes,
I did what I was supposed
You
to do.
did exactly what you're supposed to
Just
do.
without even having all the facts. I was like, hey, wait a minute. What
Hey,
about like that?
That is
Just keep
exactly
going?
how
Okay.
this show works.
Great.
I don't know all the facts. I get a headline, I put it in here, Kirsten prints it, and then I read it.
Fantastic.
Right? And we're in a whole new room, folks. We're not in a new building. We're just in a new, bigger studio now. So I'm still getting my bearings about me. That's why I forgot to play the music. So it's really my fault more than anything, as I'm in new land, so to speak. Today's Josh Potter Show is brought to us by DraftKings, and it is perhaps about to be the biggest sports betting weekend of the entire calendar year. It's, if you like sports betting, this is Christmas, baby. Super Bowl 57 is approaching, and DraftKings Sportsbook is the official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 57. They've got all the action you need, and when I say all of it, I mean all of it. Sure, of course, they've got things that you can bet on that you'd normally bet on for any other game. But what I like to get into is every single prop bet that I can possibly get my hands on. I want to either win or lose during any moment of the Super Bowl. I love it so much. New customers right now, they can bet just $5 and they're going to get 200 in free bets instantly. I'm going to go with the Eagles and the over. I have to bet the over on the Super Bowl. It's just what I have to. You can't root for an under on the Super Bowl. What are you, a bore? So I'm going to go with the Eagles and the over. All customers right now can get in on the Super Bowl 57 excitement with DraftKings Happy Hour Super Boosts. You can check the DraftKings Sportsbook app every day between 6 and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to see what prop bet will be boosted. And if you go right now, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use code JoshPotter, all one word, and new customers can bet $5 on Super Bowl 57. They're going to get 200 in free bets instantly. It's only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code JoshPotter. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void in Ohio. See the show notes for the details. Today's Josh Potter Show is also brought to us by Mint Mobile. Why are you still paying insane amounts of money on your phone bill? Phone bills are just, ugh. I've been paying my mother's, and boy, oh boy, she's going to get Mint Mobile. I'm telling you right now. If saving big is one of your big resolutions for 2023, Mint Mobile has you covered. Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton with phone plans starting at just $15 a month. And by going online only and eliminating that whole traditional costs of retail and that whole thing, Mint Mobile is passing those savings on to you. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus they've got high-speed data delivered to the nation's largest 5G network, and you can use your own phone. If you're thinking, oh, I don't want to get some other phone. No. You get to keep your phone with any Mint Mobile plan, and you can switch easily in minutes with eSIM. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. And to get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, you just go to mintmobile.com/Potter. That's mintmobile.com/Potter. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month, my friend. Go to mintmobile.com/Potter. Now we can continue with the news, you see. Worth it, right?
Let's continue.
I saw this one. Ooh, Rob's coming outside. I saw this one about children. You have children, as you mentioned. You're a mother.
Can't believe after all the mic work I've done.
Oh, was that embarrassing for you to have Rob come out and like?
No, I liked it.
Oh, okay.
He knows I like it.
Tell people about your podcast that you're doing. You do it here too, right?
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
I'm all over the place.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
always just trying to get it off the ground.
So the woo you
It's a
do-
new one. It's like not even out yet. You can subscribe before it comes out. It's called That Woo You Do. Right now, it's at Comedy Store Studios.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And so, woo, I'm learning what that is, by the way, being in LA. Woo-woo stuff, that's like
Yeah.
Capricorns and things.
Well, that's kind of the point of the podcast is no matter who, you've got a woo.
Okay.
So, like, do you have a secret thing? Maybe you don't even tell me to save it for the podcast. But it's like,
Okay.
let's say for comics, maybe you wrote yourself a check for $1,000. It's
that
any
old
like
gag.
magical thing.
The Jim Carrey move.
Yeah. Or like you carry crystals. Or like we had one guy who said, I don't have any woo, but I just prayed for the first time. And we're like, let's talk about it. Because he said he doesn't believe in God, but he prayed for the first time. So it's like whatever your personal...
Mine would be vibes.
I like it. That's
At
exactly what I'm talking about.
Sports gambling.
Yes. This is
That's about as far as I get.
This is a great woo.
Well, I'll save it for them. These people have heard me talk about sports gambling ad nauseum, so I don't need to.
We need your
into
type
it.
of straight male energy with your sports gambling on
I mean,
our
is that
podcast.
I don't know if it's straight male. I appreciate you saying that.
Of course it is.
But,
You're welcome.
I am.
Virile, strong, betting on sports.
I do. I love.
Those are the only vibes I pick up on. That's very...
It's not the only. I mean, I like
very jock-like.
I like vibes at a roulette table. I feel like roulette
Same thing.
to win
That's the
roulette is
same thing.
all vibes. You need if there's a guy around there that's
Yeah.
like got bad vibes. You're like, I got to go to a
Yeah.
different table. This guy
I used to
sucks.
play roulette based on the vibes.
Yeah, it's all vibes. It's like, what's your birthday? What's your birthday? You know Annie Letterman? Obviously, we had New Year's Eve with
Annie Letterman.
We
Let
spent
me
New Year's
think.
Eve with
Heard
her
of
last year. Her boyfriend Todd and I, best roulette vibes history of time. We always win.
Really?
I mean, I swear, it's like every time I play roulette with Todd, I walk away with like hundreds of dollars.
It is exhilarating. If you
the
get
best.
it on the one where it's
Yes.
times 30, that's the shit.
We're always doing birthdays. We're doing like, I'm naming hockey players and putting out their numbers. It's something.
Good stuff.
But as a mother, we'll go back to that now.
Yes, please.
This is interesting. Have your children ever gotten like in trouble at school where you had to go in and deal with the fucking teachers or the principal?
Never my child is perfect. No, I have. And I have one child and one ex-husband, but you may call them both my children.
Have you ever had to go into the school and talk about your ex-husband?
Many times. No, he's fantastic. Look, guys, he's great. We're doing great. We're doing great together. We both love our child. My child went to a private, progressive elementary school, which I found out over time. It was good in some ways. It wasn't a total disaster, but mostly like my kid, he runs pretty hot, and they'd be like, "Let's talk about what happened," and I just. thank God he got out of there when he did, because now he's in a more traditional, like, here's your stats, here's your percentage of your grade. Like, he couldn't deal with, they're like, can you not push on the playground? Like, can you not be competitive? He's, he's very much like, did we
That's
win? Did we
interesting.
lose? What's my percentage? And I could just see him when they're like, let's talk about it, just retreating into his own mind. That's my take on it. He's
Interesting.
old enough to speak for himself, and maybe he will someday.
And he can reflect upon
But
it.
it's that type of thing, like as a parent, where it's like they learn by being themselves, and now it's just like we just paid a shitload of money for
Right.
an elementary school that he doesn't remember, and if anything, he just remembers wasn't allowed to play basketball.
There's
And then
some
we had to have
benefits.
some big discussions, like he's just like, tell me if I did something wrong. Like, what's the rule?
Sure.
It's like, I don't want to sit and have a whole group discussion about how everybody feels about what happened.
There are benefits to public
Obviously,
school.
as I'm saying it out loud, I'm painting it in a terrible picture.
No,
I'm sure
I think there are benefits to public school like that, where it's kind of like, they come in, they do the work, and if some of them don't, then they kind of fall through the cracks.
And I like to think the positive impact for him was a more emotional, social thing that maybe he doesn't even realize. That,
it had
that he
impact
needed.
that he'll find out down the road.
That he's like, who knows?
Well, this story kind of made me think of a time when I was a kid back in school, because in this story, a child's drawing was confiscated by staff at Hanover Horton Schools in
Ooh.
Horton, Michigan,
I'm interested.
after it was considered to be inappropriate. Now, before I get into whatever the hell this one is, I remember we had this thing called Writer's Workshop, which was actually a brilliant sort of exercise for like a second grader to do, where our teacher would like make these little booklets, and they were cute. They were like, they'd have like wallpaper on it, so they'd have a cover, and you could write the words, and then you can draw the picture, and you can make your own book.
That's really sweet.
And I made a story, and it was like Star Wars. I made like 3 series of books, and it was called The Mouse versus the Rat, and they were both pirates.
Solid.
And I would draw the goriest pirate battles that you ever saw. Blood just pouring. And I remember going after school, I get called in, and my parents are there, and my teacher had to address the positive violence in my books. That they were insane. And my teacher's like, well, why don't you make them friends or something like that? And I was like, that's not how the story goes, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, I was upset that they would hinder my creative ideas. I was like mad. I didn't understand it. And my
I've got
mom,
the number of someone at Marvel I'd like to call on your behalf, because this kid knows what conflict is.
well,
right
my
here.
mother was like in tears.
She was.
She thought like, because the way that the teacher posed it was that like I was mentally disturbed. So my mom's like, why do you draw such bloody pictures? Like she was in.
Wait, I thought you said she was looking for the positive.
No, they were not. They were bringing me in to like see if
Yeah.
I was like gonna, if I was ripping the wings off of bugs or something like that.
That's fair.
Is it? That's what I was. I look back on it and I laugh because it's like, I wasn't a violent kid at all. I just was drawing.
That
the
was
pictures.
your one outlet.
Yeah, it's just let
Gotta
me be.
get it out.
But that was the only time I ever had an inappropriate. They made me stop with
My
the
son
rat
did
versus the mouse.
in the school where they bring you in for your. We'll see if we're going to let you into the school or not. Like, sit on the library floor and draw a picture. And he knew that that he was supposed to be showing up. Like, he knew everybody was looking at him. So he was like, pee pee poo poo. Like, and I was like, okay, that's and I knew, and he knew that I knew, but it was like an unspoken.
I see. I was drawing like, as a little kid when you're drawing like bloody violent pictures, it was like the ones where you'd find them and be like The Omen or something where you're like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like my mom was mortified. I hope she has them somewhere in a box, but she probably threw those ones in the garbage, but I'd love to find them and display them for all of you. But in this case, at first glance, this doodle looks to be innocent. It's an innocent rendition of a pig, but that's not what came to mind for school officials. This person writes, I got a call from my daughter's teacher saying she had drawn something inappropriate in our class. Here it is. It's supposed to be Peppa Pig. Do you see what could possibly be inappropriate about that?
I mean, that pig's got a dick inside his chest, pointing at his own dick.
So you saw it right away. The dick.
Of course.
That's what the teachers made a phone call about.
I mean, I wouldn't make a phone call about that.
I would ask the child.
I would.
What is that right there? And then they go,
no.
Well, you don't want to know why? Because that's supposed to be a tie.
Yes, of course.
Oh, you knew that part.
Instantly.
Okay.
Instantly, I said, that looks like a dick, but she thought she was drawing a tie.
Okay, yeah. So why
That's
would
adorable.
you make a phone call about that
Never.
as a teacher?
I wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
That teacher is a colossal a-hole.
Yeah, like what?
I would have a private laugh on my own time and enjoy my day. I'd be like, that just brightened my day. This little girl drew a tie that looks like a penis.
I'd be in the
Isn't that
teacher's lounge,
adorable?
be like, look at the tie on this pig right here. Does it look like a cock?
Look how happy the pig. Look at the little lines. That's what I would look at. Look how his hands and his tail are like, yay! The pig is so happy.
And it does look like Peppa Pig.
What
It's
a
great
tragedy
drawing.
to get called in. Look, it's a great drawing. Look
Do you
at
want to hear what the mother
Look at
has
the
to say?
color of the purple and the orange, and I want a copy of this drawing. is
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
would say
saying.
the least accurate thing is the tie, but you can't get, it's a child. You can't
Yes.
get it all 100%
No.
accurate. I mean, this isn't Bob Ross up here. Sierra Carter, the mother, says, I got a call from the daughter's teacher saying she had drawn something inappropriate in art class. She has been fighting with the Hanover Horton schools to omit the picture from her daughter's file. What the fuck?
Oh no.
The teacher looked at it and she said she had to give it to the principal to get his thoughts on that. She told me that when she gave it to the principal, she asked him what his thoughts were. He instantly said to write her up for it. So this kid's getting in trouble for this.
What city is this?
This is in Hanover Horton Schools in Horton, Michigan.
Canceled.
I
Cancel
mean,
this entire city.
Carter
on this poor girl's behalf.
on this the whole school district just burn it to the ground.
I want to give her a free ride to like a school. The
You're gonna
girl
pay
who
for her
drew
college?
the dick pig
For art
drawing. I'd
college?
like to. Yeah.
Carter confronted the principal at Hanover Horton about the situation, and then was asked who is responsible for apologizing to her daughter. Despite the reply, Carter pushed forward, resulting in school officials agreeing to remove the write-up against her daughter. However, although the write-up was removed, Hanover Horton Schools kept documentation of the incident on file.
Oh, awful.
I mean, good God. What if she can't get into, like, Harvard one day because, like, you drew a penis on this Peppa Pig here? It's gonna follow you for the rest of your life.
I think she should win awards and a scholarship because of that.
This poor girl, 11-year-old daughter, expressed that she doesn't any longer want to go to school, and she's both anxious and worried about getting in trouble.
Yeah,
because she
cool.
didn't know what she was fucking
No,
doing.
of course not.
What idiots.
These adults should all be.
As a
sliced.
man-child, I even know better than this. You know what I mean? Like, that's disgusting. Poor girl. But let's get to a more lighter topic, shall we? We already talked about the Chinese balloon. I don't really want to talk about it anymore. Stupid. I don't know why I put that in there. This is about dolphin. It's pretty fun. A dolphin skull.
Oh,
Did you know they have skulls?
sure.
I didn't know. I thought they were just like jellyfish or something. I don't know what's going on in there. I know they have bones, but a whole skull? Crazy.
You thought it was just two bones
I don't know.
in the shape of a nose?
I mean, it kind of is. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's pretty bizarre. But Customs and Border Protection agents made quite the aquatic discovery while routinely inspecting international luggage at Detroit Metropolitan Airport last week. The CBP agricultural specialists are doing x-rays on bags re-entering the United States after they were separated from their owners when they found what was determined to be a young dolphin skull. In this article, they wrote, they found something fishy.
Good one.
That's not good.
Good
Dolphins
one.
aren't fish. I know that. I may not know they have skulls, but I know that they're not fish.
They're a round fish.
They're mammals, right?
But you didn't know they had a skull, but you knew they were mammals.
Yeah.
Solid.
The smuggling of certain wildlife, including
As if I've
marine
ever
mammals.
thought about I'm like, everybody knows that. No. But let's just say,
Where's
as a
the
whole,
blowhole?
we don't think about it.
Where's the hole in the skull? The blowhole. Do you see it? Oh, I guess that one's a little different, but in the particular one that we found here in this luggage, the possession of wildlife items, especially those of protected animals, is prohibited. We take wildlife smuggling seriously,
That's
and we
right.
work closely with our federal partners at the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to protect wildlife and their habitats. So I don't know why this man, it never says why he had the skull. It is not known who the owner of the bag is and whether he or she will face
He
any
just
charges.
ran.
He bailed the second they found it. They're like, oh my God, they found
He's
the
like,
dolphin
I'm
skull.
leaving. I'm not even going on this trip.
Not my skull. Boom, boom, and then just bails.
See, I have clear, not to brag, but I would just be just totally caught. There's nothing.
Well, they wouldn't find yours, right? Because if you have clear, they're just like,
That's true. Hey, if you need anything smuggled,
yeah. If you
I
need
got you because I got
dolphin
clear.
skull.
They're just like right this way. You don't have to take the laptop out. You don't have to take the shoes off.
I thought that was just strange that somebody. I mean, people travel with the dumbest shit. Why do you
send
need
it, man?
Why do mail the
it.
dolphin skull,
Mail
right?
it, yeah.
I would never. People on the road, they give you stuff all the time, like little presents or whatever.
Have you been given a skull of any kind before?
Not a skull.
What's
but
the weirdest thing you've been given?
nothing really weird, but
It's
it's well, I
disgusting.
guess drugs. I mean, like,
Oh, yeah.
but it's always like, how am I flying with this? Or something. They'll give you like a giant something or other, and it's always nice. I appreciate it a great deal, like a piece of art or something. You're like, well, there's no way I'm carrying this on an airplane.
Do people give you big, large things?
Yeah,
Art?
and then you have to like mail it to yourself.
Oh boy.
Someone gave me a giant like bills thing that's like huge. I'm like, how the fuck do I put this on the airplane? So if someone gave me
Give
a skull,
Josh plain-sized gifts, please.
thank you. I mean, drugs, we can figure it out. We'll make it happen. But geez Louise.
Let me ask you a drug question.
Please.
Do people give you drugs?
Yes.
Do you just take the drugs, or do you?
Well,
do you
it
ever
depends on-
pause?
Depends on what the drug is.
Are you in this point of your life and your drug life where you're like that type of? Let's see what this pill does.
Oh, yes. We just talked about that last week, as a matter of fact, didn't we?
Okay. I apologize. I apologize.
No, I
for not
mean-
being caught up.
Last week I mentioned that I found I was at the end of my cigarettes and I
Oh,
heard
I
one
did see
rattling
that.
around. Yeah, and
That's why it
I
was
found a
like in my.
Cialis.
I did see that. I saw that because you clipped it up.
I'm not as much as into that as I used to be. I used to find like pills on my floor of my bathroom and be like, "Ooh," and I would be like a special day, and I'd be
But
like,
at
"What is
least
this
the
gonna be?"
the one on your bathroom, you knew it was your pill. But if
Well,
a
yeah.
stranger's giving you drugs, I guess.
Well, if it's from a stranger,
Is it mostly
it's a little
weed?
more worrisome. Weed, it's mostly weed. I usually make, if a stranger's offering drugs of, let's just say a powder sort of any kind, I make sure they do it before I do it. I make sure I watch them do it a couple times before I'm even going.
Whoa, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
That still is pretty rolling the dice in this climate.
I mean, is it? If once they do it and they're walking
didn't
around,
die.
I kind of, yeah. I mean, like, what are we talking about?
I mean,
Oh,
I guess
right, I
it
guess
just takes the fun to a new edge. You're even that much more excited when you don't
Or
die
it just
and they
takes
don't die.
the debauchery to a new level too. You're just like, well, if I die, I die. You know what I mean? But mostly it's weed, and it's like, that kind of thing, or shrooms. I don't really do.
And the weed, whatever it is, you'll do. You're not ever like, oh, what kind of weed is this? It's
No, I
big
never.
deal.
I don't even care when I go to the stores. I'm so like,
Oh.
I'm such a caveman from being, back when it was illegal. Being from Buffalo, I used to buy it from a guy named Gilly who would give it to me in like loose in a DVD box. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't care what kind of weed that was.
DVD
Yeah,
box.
it was
That's
so
such
pathetic.
an inefficient way.
It was the dumbest shit. He goes, "Sorry, you didn't have any bags," and you gave me in a DVD case. I'm like,
What a dumbass.
yeah, and I'm just like shaking it into a bag. Then when I get home, and so I mean, when I go to these stores now, they're like, "Do you looking for an indica, sativa?" And they're talking about the strands. I'm like, I don't give a shit, dude. Just whatever one's closest to you.
You don't even have the time to focus on what
I
kind of
don't
weed you're
wanna
like,
know.
please.
I
don't
really
wanna
get
know.
bored by that part of it.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm like, will it get me high? Perfect. That's all I care about. So when they bring it out to shows or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, I got you this," it's so, and then they're going
You're
on
like,
and on
"Shh,
about the
shh, no
strand.
talking.
Do not tell me
Just
about
put
the
it
strand.
in my system.
Exactly.
No words.
I don't need to hear
No.
what it's a hybrid of or whatever the fuck. Just let me do it. Let me smoke it.
Okay.
So yeah. Were there any other questions about drugs?
No, I guess
'Cause
that was
I love
should have
answering
been
questions.
obvious. to
Well,
me.
this is another school one for you.
Okay.
And today is we're about a week into Black History Month. A food vendor is apologizing for what it calls an unintentional and insensitive mistake. The situation in question involved food selections served on the first day of Black History Month at a New York middle school. They were asking people if they wanted watermelon, and I was very confused because watermelon really isn't in season, a sixth grader said, named Honor Santiago. Watermelon was reportedly on the school's menu that day, along with chicken and waffles. Well, that seems more than a coincidence.
Yeah,
if
it
you
does.
ask me. You know?
That's 2 out of 2.
Yeah, that's like 3 out of 3. I mean,
you're
I guess
right.
the
That's
waffles
3.
could be white people stuff, but I didn't really think the school or the company was capable of doing that kind of thing, just making the kids feel bad. According to Nyack Public Schools, an outside vendor, Aramark, planned to serve cheesesteaks on February 1st, as seen in a February menu preview. However, an earlier menu also listed chicken and waffles as a meal that day. The chicken and waffles and watermelon are stereotypes. Yes, we do know that. School officials blamed a change in leadership at Aramark for the mix-up. So the Aramark people are like, it's just a random Wednesday. We do chicken and waffles on Wednesday, and that happened to be the first of the month. My bad. The middle school sent a letter to the parents saying, "We are extremely disappointed by this regrettable situation and apologize to the entire Nyack community. We have met with Aramark. I am encouraged that they have expressed an interest in working and participating in the training that we do in terms of racial stereotypes. I hope they learn from their mistakes." Well, I just think it was a scheduling mishap. You can't put watermelon and chicken and waffles in the same day, regardless of the day, I don't think.
I think that's a pretty solid
just err on the
summation
side
of
of
that.
caution, If you're putting the watermelon with the chicken and waffles, you're going to get some flack. Just keep them separate.
I mean, watermelon in February is suspect.
Yeah, no matter what.
Yeah.
In February especially.
Is it though? Maybe it's not.
In the wintertime.
Do we just have watermelon year round now?
If it was January 28th and you got watermelon, would you go, or would you say,
You know what?
This is refreshing?
I've never had watermelon or chicken or waffles. I've never heard of any of those items at a school lunch. So let me speak. Let me speak of where before I try to weigh in on this whole scenario. Let me talk about where I come from.
Yes, please.
Canned corn, Salisbury steak,
This is your
mashed
school
potatoes, pizza, the weirdest, waxiest looking pizza. Those are the only items I can remember. That's it. That's the only thing I can remember.
Yeah,
Chocolate milk, white milk. I'm about to start yelling. This is the most excited
it's okay.
I've
Why
been.
are we getting so elaborate with our school lunches?
How do you get chicken and waffles and watermelon? It sounds delicious.
It does actually sound like an upper crust.
Watermelon
school
sounds
lunch.
like a problem and too much effort. Based
Right.
on where I come from, it sounds like they're like, what is the least amount of effort and the most we can get for our money? Is the largest can of corn, and then just let's buy 100 more of those can of corn to last us for the entirety of your elementary school.
We had
time here.
Chicken patties, pizza, and I can't remember anything else.
Chicken patty is an interesting ground up.
Like that
Yeah,
was
thank
it.
you. I can't remember. Oh, actually, maybe I'm making this up. I want to say maybe a fruit cup situation.
Oh, sure, the fruit cup.
Just
but
in the
that's-
sugary syrup.
Yeah, that's just in that stupid cup. But
Yeah.
like my point
So don't
is, and then
come at
Michelle
me about
Obama
watermelon.
when Michelle Obama came into power, she was like, "You only eat carrots and celery." So now they've really gone like, it's almost like they're doing it really a snub to Michelle Obama to have fried chicken as a school lunch. Crazy. It's double racist now.
Yeah,
Double racist.
I think that's what we.
But yeah, it is
out.
such a complicated meal. Just give the kids the chicken patty and the pizza, for Christ's sake. What are we doing here? You know?
I've had a vegan soul food meal.
At school?
No.
Oh, okay.
In life.
Oh, yeah, you're
Where am I when I have that?
I
Wow, my brain.
I'd imagine
it's
in
a
Los
place I
Angeles?
go. No, I think it's in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
It's a place I've been to many times, and I walk. I do a lot of freeway walking on the road This particular is I'll do a 2-mile walk.
A freeway walk.
I do a lot of freeway walking. Remember we were talking about before we were on the air, you take a nap?
Right.
I wanted to throw in there, when you have those extra hours, you're going to end up walking across some freeways to a Chili's where you're going to try to order the healthy meal, and you're going to get a fried chicken salad.
The freeway walk is so specific because I've done them, obviously. It's
I've done so many freeway walks.
They put you in a hotel where you're like, I guess I have to walk across the highway to get to
that's the only way to get anywhere. And then you're rewarded with either a Chili's or
Applebee's, a Tully's.
What's that other diner place? I can't remember the name of it.
Denny's?
But not
Perkins?
Yeah, I think it was Perkins. I was thinking.
Yes, been to those. Mm-hmm. Syracuse Funny Bone has a nice Perkins right by there. Kirsten's just pulling up school lunches here. None of this looks like anything I've ever eaten at a school lunch. That's for sure.
Yeah, that one of those large square pizzas.
Oh yes,
is the one that looks much better than the one that I'll
take that all day long. You know,
order. Google school lunches from the 80s. That's what I'm about.
Every now and then they would give us, and now this could very well be taken the wrong way, Mexican pizza.
Okay.
But
thank you.
Delish.
Now we're talking.
It looked like a square piece of puke, but it
that
was actually
top right one. That's where I'm
fantastic.
That was it?
It was so good.
Ooh.
The Mexican pizza.
Yeah, that top right one, but the pretzel with the mustard is a little fancy out of the gate. The rest of it is spot on. That is spot on.
Very large tray. That is a big portion, I would say.
We didn't have trays. That's another expenditure that we didn't really.
We certainly
didn't have itemized.
Remember, you had to give
like
the trays back. You never had to do that. Go up to the
dark
window.
Green peas. Yeah, you give the trays back. That's right.
Yes. Ew.
Oh,
all right.
wow.
Well, I'm getting upset. Let's transition to sports because we've only got a couple of moments remaining with Mary Lynn here. Let's get into the sports. Beep 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. This one's longer.
Please let it go longer. I was about to go into a trance.
You know Tom Brady retired?
I heard that, yeah.
And
I hope he retires every year.
I mean, he's going to stay retired, it seems. He put out a thirst trap just yesterday, which was pretty crazy.
Thirst trap it every 6 months to a year. Just keep it going.
See if you can find that real quick, Kirsten. If you go to Will Compton's Instagram, I know that's like a real out there one, but Will Compton just posted the picture up on his Instagram. But Tom Brady retired, and everybody's making a giant deal of it. You said you want him to retire every year. Does this have any impact on your life, him retiring? Because for me,
absolutely less than no impact. But I like to see him in the news. He's a good-looking guy.
Okay.
He's a hero.
A hero
of the country. He's an iconic. He's a god of our sports world.
Yeah. See, he's
larger
like,
than life. He's married to a supermodel. I want to see about the troubles. I want to see if they're still together as a family. I want to see how sullen his cheekbones are. Or cheekbones.
He posted this just yesterday.
This is what I'm talking about.
This is a thirst trap. He's with his Slovenian
I rest my case.
model that he's dating now. I don't think she's in any of the pictures.
Every 6 months to a year how it's going in retirement. Is what I'm saying.
What's he doing with his hand there? He's covering his balls.
Let him do it. This is the world we live in now. If you don't have Tom Brady with his legs in a diamond shape, knees askew, hand flat on the crotch on your briefs.
Well, you did say
I don't want to live in a world without this picture.
So
you're saying
now say like you meet a guy and he's like an opulent man. He's got a great home. Whatever.
Opulent.
We're
both so good with the words.
You walk into his house though. What if he has a portrait of Tom Brady like that up there on his wall, like an oil painting?
Well, thank you for cutting this off at the chase before I dated you for 2 to 4 months to find out you're gay. Thank you for letting me know at the onset.
See,
and give me a tour of your house and let's hang out as gal pals. But
gal pal. To me, he's like the ultimate villain. For 20 years, he made my life
'cause
miserable because I'm a Bills fan and he was on the
Right.
Patriots. But then when he left the
course.
Patriots, I was like, okay, old man, you live your life. So I kind of, I'm rooting for him in the long run now because he doesn't affect me.
Right.
Like
That's
you
what
used to.
time does, you know?
But go to the video that is initially the reason we brought this up. Some people are comparing Tom Brady's retirement to some other things that happened in our lifetime. Let's give this a listen, shall we?
This is a huge moment, not just for Tom Brady, not just for the NFL, but like for all of us. Look, people remember where they were when JFK was assassinated. You remember where you were with 9/11.
Can I tell you something? Can I interrupt you real quick? His first start was a week after 9/11. That's how long ago he's been playing.
I came out the same year as him, 2000, and he's still playing. 23 years. That's a long time. But I'm going to remember this. Like, I'm going to remember who I'm with. Kyle's going to remember he was in Vegas. You're going to remember where you were when Tom Brady announced his official retirement. And it sounds like this one's for real.
Can I tell you? I love football. I do not remember where the fuck I was when he. And that just happened like days ago.
Oh, I remember.
This guy's
where I
like
was.
9/11.
I remember exactly where I was.
Where were you?
I was in my kitchen, scooping up the dog food,
Okay.
putting it in the bowl, and I said, "Holy hell! My Tom Brady retired? Not now, not today, not when I need him most."
I dropped the dog food.
And
on
you
the
know
floor.
who else has been going since 9/11? This lady.
Yeah.
Living life. I've been a full-grown woman, menstruating since before 9/11. Could you imagine?
No.
In the game of life.
I was a sophomore in high school for 9/11, and I remember where I was for that. Will not remember where I was when Tom Brady retired. I'm like, was I sleeping?
Well, don't you think part of that is also that he's retired a bunch of times?
I don't remember where I was the first time he retired, and I certainly don't remember this last time where I was. I mean, I was on Twitter because that's where I read it. That's
Yeah.
about all I recall.
Yeah.
Now, with your son, do you find yourself? I know he's in athletics. Do you find yourself like being like a what's the word? Like a stage mom, so to speak,
With
for
sports?
with sports, with anything? Like, because there's different elements of stage moms, I'd imagine. But are you more like do what you want to do that makes you happy, or are you like get out there? You know what I mean?
I like to think I'm a healthy balance.
Oh, okay.
Of both, yeah.
Now there can be both. That's interesting.
Well, yeah, you got to push, but not push too much, right? I probably should push more.
This young man, he is like a child. There's all kinds of these like child reporters now. It's kind of weird. The Raiders have been propping this young man up.
Honestly, sadly, I think you have to start at this age. Go on.
What's
Say
it?
what
Well,
this is.
I mean, here's.
And I think you need to be pushed.
it comes to the larger point. I'm trying to. Do you know what his name is there, Kirsten? Does it say in the caption or anything? There we go. This one, yes. Please unmute it too.
I love it already.
Then you go faster. Hit on it.
Game, final showdown of the season. I walk up to Devontae Adams, I ask him for an interview. He says yes. We talk for about 2 minutes, and my life has changed ever since. So now I want to go back even farther. September 27th, 2020. Minnesota Vikings versus Tennessee Titans. Kirk Cousins drops back to pass, it's second down and 8, third quarter. He throws a deep ball to you, you catch the ball, you juke Jonathan Joseph and Kenny Vaccaro, and as you're on your way to the end zone, you do the gritty. Did you think that dance would take off the way that it did?
Whose son is this? This your son?
Yes.
How he like this?
He was born like that.
This is a smart kid, man.
He does a lot of research. He's been working hard.
That is crazy. That's crazy. Well, I mean, during that time...
You could pause. I don't need to hear Justin Jefferson try to answer the kid's question. But, he goes in there. He's very smart. He knows all the facts. He basically laid out that play in like a storybook way. And I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, what's that mom doing behind the scenes to make that kid, that good at that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think he's just like that.
When I have a kid,
Yeah.
if I have a kid,
I knew you
He's
had
gonna
something
be-
loaded up here.
he's going to be way better at broadcasting than this kid. I'll tell you that right now. Because
Yeah.
I'll be like,
Say it again. Don't mumble.
it's W.
Pronounce your word.
W. Not W. W. Like, I'd be really hammering it. I'm like, oh, you hear how you stumbled over that one right there?
You definitely have that personality.
You think so?
The hammer, yeah.
Oh, you think so? That's very nice. No one's ever said that about me,
I don't know.
ever.
I
That
just-
I have a personality where I'm like,
Yeah,
Aggressive?
you're a straight white male. You're aggressive.
I
And
hear that.
I'm trying to
I'm a straight man.
trying to prop you up.
I
trying to prop
appreciate
you
it.
up. You're welcome.
But I would be very
No,
like
you're the
that's-
opposite of the hammer.
I would. I know. My kid's gonna walk all over me. But if there were one,
That's true.
if there was one
You
opportunity,
need to be more like this mom.
If there was one opportunity, though, one facet of life where I would be a stage mom, it would be if my kid was involved in broadcasting the way these children are.
That kid was incredible, and I do think they have a natural proclivity towards that.
Of
because
course.
I've seen, I don't know if you have kid actors.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen stage moms, but I've also seen those kids where you're like, oh, the kid is directing the way, and the kid was already leaning into that,
Yes.
and you sort of like can't. If you're a good parent, you're allowing and supplying that kid with the tools. You're not pushing them into it. They're wanting to go in that direction.
And in this case,
She bought him a nice suit and got him
course.
a fresh haircut and made him, like, encouraged him. But
many
like,
teams try to copy this model, and they've had kids that are real duds. Let me
Yeah.
just tell you. So it is. I do think it is on the kid. But I was just thinking in my head, like, if I was that kid's parent, I'd be like, we got something here.
oh yeah, for
We
sure.
need to definitely
For
keep
sure.
it moving, my friend. Well, Miss Mary Lynn Rajskub, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Please plug anything and everything that you'd like to plug, if there's anything at all.
Mary Lynn Rajskub on Instagram. Look at this. I actually do have dates. March 3 and 4, Arlington Draft House. March 23, 25, Punchline Atlanta. Oh my gosh. April
Atlanta,
13th.
get to go back to that soul food
I
place.
can't wait. Tempe Improv. April 14, 15. 3 E's, Colorado Springs. There's stuff missing on here. I'm going to Australia.
Oh my
I
lord!
know.
Well, congratulations. Those sound like.
Thank you so much.
Make sure you go check out all the road dates, the new podcast that Woo You Do, right?
Yes, thank you very much.
And when does that begin?
I don't know. Soon.
All right, well,
Really
look
soon.
for it.
February, March.
Pop it in your Google machines and figure
Just
it out.
subscribe
folks.
now.
And for me, please to be continuing to subscribe, rate, review, all the things on YouTube and whatever audio platform you happen to listen to. Instagram is at Josh_Potter. There you'll find dates. March 10th, like I said, Bellflower, California. Bakersfield, California, the month after that. Oh, boy. And then May 5th and 6th, Chandler, Arizona. Mic Drop Comedy Club, and we're getting some East Coast stuff cooked up for you. We'll let you know about that down the road, and we got some other fun plans I'm going to let you know about next week here on the Josh Potter Show. Thank you so much for joining us once again.
Thank you for having me. I'm already late, guys.
Thank you for coming. Please.